Ladies and gentlemen of thecrowhouse.com, Max Egan. Max, welcome to What on Earth is Happening. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Nice to have a chat to you, Mark. It's been a long time, brother.
Absolutely. Too long, Max. I think the last time we did see each other in person was at Anarchapulco. I believe it was 2019. And we had a great time there. We were able to hang out together, talk, socialize with others. Anarchapulco is coming at us very rapidly, going to start on February 6th. I believe you are already in Mexico right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm living about 5 minutes walk from the venue where Anarchapulco is. It's actually been amazing. I've been here for about 15 months now. Not in this one spot the whole time, but I've been here since June. And I actually do my walk and talks, if you've been watching them, in the Anarchapulco venue in the Secret Garden. So it's been amazing. Yeah, and it's good. It's going to be great. There's people showing up here already. It's looking really good.
Excellent, excellent. Now, what's going to be your involvement in Anarchapulco this year? What will you be talking about? Will you be delivering a presentation? Will you be involved in any, speaker roundtable discussions? Tell us about your own personal involvement in the conference this year.
Well, I think I'll probably be in some roundtable discussions. I'm not sure. I haven't got any workshops worked out, but I still could do one. As far as my talk goes, I still don't know what I'm talking about. I never really know with these events. I've figured out, like I've done so many presentations now that if I'm doing anything under an hour, I don't generally prepare for it because I figure my walk and talk's usually about an hour and a half. And it depends on what happens between now and then. Like things are going so fast in the world. How do you prepare for a talk if it's supposed to be like on point and kind of now focused? Right. Well, how do you prepare for it? Because I prepare for it and it's 10 things have happened in the next week. So it's going to be determined by what happens on the day. But of course, it's going to be focused on freedom. It's going to be focused on how we got here, how we're being scammed. And like you say, freedom is a personal choice. It's a personal decision. Everybody's waiting for some white knight to come along and save them. Well, all they have to do is change their perspective of what reality is and how they interact with the reality and people around them, remember who and what they are, and ask themselves why on earth they thought they ever had rulers to begin with. World in a day, Mark. That's what's so frustrating about all this.
You're exactly correct.
And seeing it all happen the way it's happened, the way it all has in the last 3 years. I mean, if it's not a kick up the arse for everybody to say, "Hey, wake up and remember yourself," well, I don't know what is, because that's what's happening.
The simplicity of the solution is amazing, and that people don't yet still understand the solution is equally perplexing. I find that it almost doesn't matter how much you actually describe the solution. There will be people who will insist upon saying people don't talk enough about solutions because they want what I find that they want. And let's see if you agree with this, Max. People want literally to be told a very specific task to do. It's like, I find that it's very like learning and teaching computing technology. In my How to Become the True Media seminar, I do not focus on individuated single tasks to perform. Yes, you will have to do that. That will be required, right? But if you do not first understand the conceptual idea, the tasks are meaningless and they could change on a dime. They could change at will. So the thing is, you have to first understand the conceptual idea of the underlying why. Why are you doing this? How is this advancing the cause of what you say that you want to achieve? And I find it amazing that so many people in the freedom community don't understand that what people like you and I have been discussing since day one is the solution. They just don't hear in their minds, listen, you, Jim, go and do this actual thing and, go here to this place or say this thing. It's like they're waiting to be commanded, to be instructed like that. When the solution is think differently, come to the correct understanding mentally, and then speak out about it to others. And the tasks that you choose to do that through are your own business. But get the conceptual idea and then implement it. Your take on that, Max?
Well, yeah, people are programmed into thinking that there's this certain process they've got to go through. Like they've got to fill out a form, or they've got to vote for someone, or they've got to go and follow someone, or they've got to subscribe to something and send them funds, and then they'll get a newsletter to tell them that the world has changed.
Right.
Oh, it's all good now. I don't have to worry about the government parasites ruining the world now. I can go back to my everyday mundane existence that I've done for my whole life. Don't have to change one single thing about myself. But I got a letter from Mark Passio last week that said it's safe to go outside now, so I'm good. Yeah, that's seems to be the approach people have, and they're programmed into blame games and this hero sort of mentality as well. You look at action movies. There's always the lone hero who goes out there and saves the world, and we live vicariously through his journey, and we don't have to do anything to save the world because Spider-Man just did it. And that is a pressure relief valve for us as we go through the movie and all this sort of stuff. And we look at all the problems and the rabbit holes we go down. Okay, it's the Jews, it's the Jesuits, it's the Satanists, it's the Freemasons, it's everybody. And if I point my finger at them and we get angry enough at them and we make them all disappear, the whole world will change without me having to change my perspective or do anything. And the question is, like I said before, what makes you ever think you needed rulers to begin with? It's all of this programming that we've said that's been set in place for your whole life that you just never really understood yourself. You know, the perfect example I've got of this is I've used this story quite often lately, is an old man that I saw on the beach in Venice Beach, 85 years old, sitting there crying. And I said, what's the problem? Why are you crying? And he said, because I just realized I could have done this 70 years ago. But I did all this other stuff. I thought the system meant something. I thought it was real. I thought I had to have a house, have a white picket fence, have this car, and get to this level on the social ladder and do all these things that the society gives us to do. Like they give us all these things we've got to measure ourselves by, all these designated enjoyment zones to go to. Of course, if you haven't got your jab and you can't scan your QR code, you can't go to our designated enjoyment zone. So you can't do anything else because you don't know how to be you and just live your life in the forest, all this sort of stuff. But this guy's saying he did all these things, got a corporate business, had all this stuff, had a wife, a beautiful business, all these things. But all he really wanted to do was sit on the beach.